That rotisserie chicken you tossed in your cart alongside milk and eggs, it could be hiding a dangerous secret, teeming with bacteria and cloaked in deception. Those irresistibly low prices, they're not bargains, they're red flags screaming for your attention. In this explosive exposé, we rip the lid off 5 grocery stores where chicken safety is a shocking scandal. From shady sourcing to reckless storage, the rot runs deeper than the glossy labels in the fridge. Once the truth spills out, you'll never trust a fresh chicken sticker again. Buckle up as we reveal the filthy secrets grocery stores pray you'll never uncover. Walmart's chicken section may look like a budget-friendly paradise, but hidden behind those yellow price tags is a dangerous compromise. A 2019 consumer report tested raw chicken from multiple national chains and found Walmart's store-brand chicken had some of the highest bacteria counts in the country. We are talking about pathogens like Salmonella and Campylobacter. Not exactly the kind of seasoning you want on your dinner plate. In some cases, the levels were so high, experts warned the meat could cause illness even when cooked to recommended temperatures. That is not just concerning, that is horrifying. So, why is Walmart chicken so risky? The answer comes down to volume over vigilance. Walmart moves huge quantities of poultry every day, but their supply chain is built for speed and cost, not care. They work with massive poultry suppliers who are incentivized to deliver fast, cheap, and in bulk. These companies often rely on overcrowded farms, questionable antibiotic use, and cost-cutting shortcuts that would make a health inspector lose sleep. Temperature control is another serious issue. Investigators found multiple Walmart locations storing chicken above safe temperatures, sometimes as high as 48 degrees when the safe limit is 40 degrees or below. That 8-degree difference may not sound like much, but it is enough to supercharge bacterial growth in just a few hours. And in giant stores where meat cases stretch longer than some studio apartments, it is easy for overworked staff to miss key checks. Walmart's skeletal staffing model does not help either. Many meat departments are operated by 1 or 2 employees per shift, responsible for everything from unloading boxes to setting up displays to cleaning trays. That means less time spent inspecting individual packages, rotating stock, or checking that the sell-by labels are accurate. Packaging is another weak point. A survey of over 5,000 shoppers in 2022 ranked Walmart dead last among major grocery stores for meat packaging quality. Thin wraps, puncture trays, and even mislabeled chicken cuts were reported frequently. That cheap-looking plastic film covering your chicken breast might look secure, but often it is not. Once air leaks into that package, bacteria gets a welcome mat. Now, let us talk taste, because it is not just your health at risk, it is your dinner too. In blind taste tests, Walmart chicken consistently scored near the bottom for flavor, texture, and tenderness. Tasters described the chicken as rubbery, bland, and dry, even when cooked properly. Some even said it had a faint chemical aftertaste, likely from preservation techniques used during long-distance transport. When chicken is driven across the country in lukewarm trucks before ever hitting your store's fridge, the flavor is the first thing to suffer. Now, if you thought that was bad, let us turn our attention to Dollar General, a store not exactly known for its culinary reputation, but lately they have been expanding their frozen and refrigerated food offerings, including chicken. Unfortunately, they have not expanded their commitment to food safety along with it. According to a bombshell USDA report released in 2023, over 75% of Dollar General stores inspected failed basic refrigeration and freezer safety checks. That means 3 out of 4 locations could be putting dangerous meat on the shelves. The core issue: equipment that barely works. Dollar General's fridges and freezers are notoriously outdated. A former regional manager said the average location experiences 2 full freezer breakdowns per year. Some stores go days without proper refrigeration, yet still keep meat products in stock. One viral photo showed defrosted chicken sitting in a cooler next to a freshly stocked sign, except the packaging was visibly sweating, and customers reported a foul smell from the aisle. Staffing is another ticking time bomb. Most Dollar General stores operate with a skeleton crew, often just one or two workers running the whole location. These employees are typically not trained in food safety, and many do not even know the proper holding temperature for raw chicken. In one internal survey, over half of employees could not identify the difference between use-by and sell-by dates. That is not a learning curve. That is a lawsuit waiting to happen. To make matters worse, Dollar General often buys meat through what the industry calls opportunity buys. Deeply discounted stock from other retailers that is close to expiring or already rejected. These products may have been in storage for weeks, shipped without proper cooling, and then placed in a broken freezer. You are not getting chicken. You're getting a science experiment. And the packaging, if you were lucky, it might make it home without leaking. But many customers report torn plastic film, half-sealed trays, and even handwritten price stickers instead of printed ones. Dollar General's meat packaging standards are about as strong as a napkin in a thunderstorm. When you combine poor packaging with bad temperature control, you get a breeding ground for pathogens. Experts say even a quick drive home with improperly chilled meat can send bacteria counts skyrocketing. All of this would be bad enough if the price savings were significant. But a 2022 market comparison showed that Dollar General's meat is usually only 10 to 15% cheaper than major grocery stores. That is not exactly a bargain when the trade-off is spoiled chicken and a possible trip to the emergency room. And now we come to Aldi, a favorite for discount lovers, but their chicken section deserves a much closer look. On the surface, Aldi appears to offer fresh, well-packaged meat at unbeatable prices. But the truth hiding beneath that bright lighting tells a different story. Aldi's chicken might look like a deal you cannot pass up. But once you know what goes on behind the scenes, you might wish you had. Aldi keeps its supplier list short, very short. While most large grocery chains source meat from dozens of vetted suppliers to ensure quality and safety, Aldi uses just a handful. A 2021 industry report found that Aldi relied on only 7 major meat suppliers across the entire United States. That is not variety, that is monopoly-level sourcing, and it is dangerous. When one supplier has issues, the whole chain suffers. This limited network allows Aldi to squeeze their suppliers for the lowest possible prices. But that cost-cutting has a price. These companies cut corners in feed quality, animal treatment, and sanitation just to stay in business with Aldi. And when those chickens end up in your cart, you are buying more than just poultry. You are buying into a race to the bottom. Temperature control in Aldi stores is another serious concern. Unlike traditional grocery chains that staff meat departments with trained butchers and food safety personnel, Aldi runs lean. Their no-frills model means fewer workers on the floor, and that includes the meat section. One consumer study monitored meat case temperatures in 25 Aldi stores and found alarming fluctuations up to 12-degree difference within a single day. That much variation is enough to put any chicken at risk. And those freezer units Aldi relies on often outdated, overstuffed, and poorly maintained. In some locations, customers have reported finding condensation inside packaging, a clear sign of temperature abuse. Chicken that has been frozen and thawed multiple times not only becomes unsafe, it loses all texture and flavor. What is supposed to be juicy and tender turns rubbery, dry, and downright unpleasant to eat. Industry insiders also confirm that Aldi frequently sells previously frozen chicken as fresh. Technically, this is legal if thawed under controlled conditions. But when Aldi's thawing practices are examined, things fall apart. Rapid defrosting to save time, poor labeling, and inconsistent rotation all lead to chicken that may look fine on the outside, but is questionable on the inside. With high turnover and minimal employee training, there is little chance anyone is monitoring how long meat has been out of proper refrigeration. It is do-it-yourself grocery shopping with do-it-yourself safety risks. Now, let us turn to Safeway. On the surface, Safeway looks like a classic American grocery store. friendly lighting, clean aisles, and well-organized meat sections. But beneath that polished appearance lies a troubling history of chicken-related recalls and questionable safety practices. Safeway has been involved in multiple meat recalls over the past decade, many of them involving chicken. In 2014, thousands of pounds of raw chicken were pulled from stores after testing positive for dangerous bacteria. Then, in 2018, mislabeled poultry products were recalled because they contained undeclared allergens, a serious threat to anyone with food sensitivities. And in 2020, Safeway issued yet another recall for chicken contaminated with foreign materials, including small pieces of plastic and metal. That is not a rare fluke. That is a pattern. But what makes Safeway worse than other chains is not just the contamination, it is how they handle it. While other grocery stores post warning signs, send out app notifications, and blast recall alerts to customers, Safeway tends to keep things quiet. They bury recall notices deep on their website where most customers will never find them. A 2022 customer survey found that fewer than 15% of Safeway shoppers were aware of a chicken recall that happened while they were actively shopping at the store. That is not just inconvenient, it is dangerous. Older shoppers, people without smartphones, and those who do not obsessively check food safety sites are left completely in the dark. One former store manager revealed that sometimes it takes days for recall instructions to reach all Safeway branches. That means contaminated chicken could be sitting on the shelf for up to 72 hours after a recall is issued. Imagine buying what you think is safe, USDA-approved poultry, only to discover it was supposed to be pulled 3 days ago. And if you think that is bad, their in-store practices are not much better. Employees report being understaffed, undertrained, and frequently overwhelmed, especially in the meat department. Proper rotation protocols are often skipped, and temperature checks are either delayed or skipped entirely during busy hours. One employee even admitted they had never been shown how to calibrate a meat thermometer. The packaging is another weak point. Safeway uses trays and wraps that are barely acceptable by modern safety standards. While the outer packaging may look professional, the inner seals often fail. Customers have reported everything from leaky chicken breasts to stickers that did not match the contents. Some even found expiration dates that were mysteriously extended by several days. If you are thinking that sounds like a store playing fast and loose with safety, you would be right. And now for a surprising entry, Whole Foods, a place that promises organic purity, healthy choices, and premium meat. But when it comes to chicken, even the fancy counters at Whole Foods have cracks in their glass. Whole Foods likes to position itself as the gold standard in grocery shopping. Walk in, and you are greeted by clean aisles, stylish displays, and meat counters that look like they belong in a food magazine. Their chicken is labeled organic, free-range, air-chilled, and all the other buzzwords that sound like health and safety. But what if those fancy labels were more marketing than meaning? What if the premium chicken sitting under that perfect lighting was not worth the price or the trust? Back in 2015, a major investigation by the New York Times found that Whole Foods had been mislabeling the weights of their meat packages, including chicken, charging customers more than they should have paid. And we are not talking pennies. Some packages had price differences of up to $4. The company was hit with over $800,000 in fines in just one state. But the damage to customer trust was far greater. And that was just the beginning. In 2019, former employees from multiple Whole Foods locations stepped forward with claims that the store was relabeling conventional chicken as organic or grass-fed during supply shortages. Rather than admitting they were out of the premium product, managers would slap a higher-end label on standard meat and hope nobody noticed. That means you could have paid top dollar for chicken that was neither organic nor free-range, just cleverly disguised. In blind taste tests, Whole Foods chicken does not always come out on top. Despite the price tag, tasters consistently rate the flavor, tenderness, and juiciness in the middle of the pack. Some describe the texture as dry and the meat as bland, even after careful cooking. When you are spending twice as much on a chicken breast, you expect more than average. But Whole Foods delivers average at luxury prices. A large study of grocery store meat pricing in 10 major cities found that Whole Foods charged 60 to 90% more for chicken cuts than other mainstream chains. Their ground chicken was nearly double the cost of similar products from competitors, even though sourcing and quality were nearly identical. You are not paying for better chicken. You are paying for better packaging and a health halo effect. That health halo effect can be deceiving. Customers believe they are making cleaner, safer, and more ethical choices at Whole Foods. The bottom line is simple. Expensive chicken does not always mean better chicken. So, where does that leave us? After investigating 5 of the most popular grocery chains in America, the truth becomes impossible to ignore. Whether it is Walmart's bacterial-laced bargain bins, Dollar General's broken freezers, Aldi's thaw-refreeze cycle, Safeway's silent recalls, or Whole Foods' overpriced underperformers, each store has major red flags when it comes to chicken safety. Your next meal deserves more than convenience. It deserves transparency. It deserves proper handling, safe temperatures, honest labeling, and meat that is actually fresh, not just pretending to be. And it certainly deserves better than a mystery slab of poultry wrapped in thin plastic and false promises. So, what can you do? First, stop assuming that big stores always get it right. Just because a place is busy, well-lit, or has fancy signage, does not mean their chicken is clean or safe. Second, learn to read packaging with a critical eye. Look for signs of poor sealing, discoloration, excess moisture, or strange smells. If something feels off, it probably is. Also, pay attention to how long meat sits in your cart. Even 10 minutes can matter on a hot day. Grab your meat last, not first. And if you have to drive more than 20 minutes to get home, consider bringing a cooler bag, especially during the summer. Chicken safety starts in the store, but it ends in your kitchen. Consider supporting smaller local butcher shops, where quality and handling standards are often far more transparent. Yes, you may pay slightly more upfront, but the peace of mind and the taste can be worth every penny. Many local butchers have direct relationships with farms, fewer middlemen, and much stricter handling protocols than the big box stores. At the end of the day, chicken is not just another grocery item. It is something you feed your family. It goes into your casseroles, your sandwiches, your Sunday dinners. It deserves more respect than what these 5 chains are giving it. And your stomach, your health, and your taste buds deserve better than reheated marketing campaigns and cut corners. So the next time you reach for that tray of chicken, remember this. Behind the lights, behind the prices, behind the packaging, there is always a story. Make sure it is one you can live with. Because bad chicken is not just disappointing, it is dangerous.